Back again, guys. I am back home and we are going to get this thing cracking again. We're going to get going because we kind of lost a little bit of momentum, a little bit of steam. As some of you might know, I traveled to the UK and as you know, I traveled to the UK and was very difficult to kind of keep up with my trading while I was there. So we're now back home. We're going to get back into it. Got into some trades yesterday. I'm going to talk you through the trades from yesterday, and then we're going to be looking at some marking up some charts and what we're going to be trading today. And we need to kind of get moving on this account because I was hoping to already be very close to my target, but it is going well, going very well. I'm going to go through some stats with you guys. I have a hair right here. There we go. Going through some stats with you guys, and we're going to be talking about kind of the future, where we're going, what we're doing, and all of that. So first things first, let's have a look at yesterday's trade. Now, I didn't post this. I didn't put anything on because I just arrived back. Yesterday was my first day back. Tired as hell, looked awful, so just didn't really want to jump on. I didn't even have my equipment set up, so it was just a bit of a mess. So yesterday I just took the trade. So let me talk you through that quickly. So as you can see, we traded GBP JPY yesterday. Why? Because there wasn't really any big news on GBP or JPY. There was some news in the morning, but not really big. There was some big news on USD. So I didn't really want to trade any USD pairs. There's something you've got to be aware of. Now, I'm not scared of news per se. It's just the unpredictable nature of news that sometimes, sometimes it actually can be hugely beneficial for the strategy I'm trading. Like I can go from, potentially looking at closing out with $100, $150 to potentially even doing like a 500 to 1,000 day. But is the risk worth it? Generally, no. I don't really need to be risking that much. So let me talk you through yesterday. Why did we trade GBP JPY? So if you look at where we were yesterday, where we were entering, it looked generally like, we were kind of heading down. But on the much bigger picture, you can see that we have generally been pushing up, right? So we have been pushing up. Yesterday's move was more of a retracement, and that's what I was trading on. That's what I was looking at getting into. Possibly got in a little bit earlier. Something I'm working on is potentially, kind of being a little bit more patient to get in on my trades. But as you can see on the daily, there's definitely more of an upwards move with GBP JPY. And then on the lower time frame is where I was just kind of looking at getting into some entries. You can see yesterday I kind of used that move up. Yes, it did push all the way down. But generally, on my smaller time frame, I'm just looking for some kind of entry, not such a big deal. I kind of ended up, I think, entering initially off of this this area here. We tapped kind of into this area and pushed up, and then that push up is where I kind of got all my positions in, and we did end up pushing down a lot further. But my black lines are kind of my higher time frame, kind of safe areas. And the thing I do with the strategy is I'm constantly looking at strong areas where I know price should react off. So whether I'm in 1, 2, 3, or 4 positions, or even the 5th positions, I know that where we're entering into those positions are generally areas that we can get reaction off of, right? And this proves that my blue lines are kind of my first one was maybe a little bit too early in on that. Got in, tapped in the second, or was it this one down? Pushed up. I think I took a little bit of profit on the first and the second initially. Yesterday total, I took about $80 profit, but then I held these trades through the night. As you can see, strong push down, got up there. I could have got another small position out of that, but decided to hold it, went down. This is where I kind of I think went to bed. I was a little bit up. Actually, no, at this point I was slightly down, was waiting for a further move, pushed down, tapped into my 4th position, so didn't get to my 5th, and then woke up this morning and we were here somewhere just before that big red candle down there is where I closed, and I closed for about $130. So I'm already $130 up today, which is a brilliant start, and I'll show you guys that. Let me jump over to... So there you can see exactly what I was talking about, all the positions just before that big push down, exactly what I was talking about. I'm not talking crap. That's one thing I don't do on this channel, and if you guys have watched, I don't talk crap. This is real trading. Let me move my gorgeous mug out the way. There you can see balance is 102,116. Now, if I go to the 5 percenters, let me just refresh everything here. So we can show you guys some stats, because that's what everyone wants to see, right? They want to see the real hard stats, because we know a lot of creators in this space talk BS. That's one thing I don't do, guys. I'm real trading. At the end of the day, I'm here for my own success, and I'm here for your success. So that's the whole point of this channel. Follow me. Hopefully you guys can, see what I'm doing, see the potential of what I'm doing. Apart from that, I'm going to show you something else I'm doing, because that's the other thing. I want to get more people involved in the automated trading that I do, but that's kind of on the sideline. That's coming anyway. Let's have a look. Here we go. High stakes. Here it is. Okay, so as you can see on this, it says my profit so far is 1,800. And I think the reason being is because, have they taken into account, was this yesterday's trades? Yes, I think it was. Okay, so we are currently sitting at 1,200. You can see that now. Why is it only saying that my profit is 1,800? Could just be because of fees and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's look at the numbers, guys. So you can see I take a lot of trades. That's just how it goes. Profit trade 70, loss trades 25. We don't need to look at any of that. Best profit is 707. Biggest loss is 526. So always lower, which is what you want to see. And then you can see that we are currently sitting at a 73.68% win rate, profit factor of 1.7. Now, I've had a few bad days. As you can see, we've had some of those days where I probably closed way sooner than I should have. But all in all, looking good. I think our target for this, what is the target, is 8,000. So, quarter of the way there. Not too bad. Taking longer than I wanted just because of the traveling, like I said. So let's go back and let's have a look at getting into some trades for today. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move that. I'm going to delete all these drawings. But what I want to do first is actually look at Forex Factory, see what we're looking at today. Forex Factory is a little bit late in the day already. I should have already been in some trades. So today at 3:30, we have got USD. So let me potentially look at trading anything without USD again, which is fine. I trade whatever I can. Let's look at some USD JPY. Let's go to the daily. Let's see what we're looking at. I'm going to delete everything again, starting with a fresh chart. So let's have a look. What do we see here, guys? Generally, you see we are kind of moving up. We are pushing up at the moment. We have got this move. I'm going to take the whole move just because have I got that? So what I like to do is I like to just mark up areas of interest, right? So we can see we've got a big push up there. We've already tapped into the 23. 38 is next. These are always going to be black because I know they're the more powerful areas. 50, 61, 78.6. There's your starting point. And the one thing I always like to do is have a look at that first. Not that it's ever really going to be that, I'm not, look how clean this is, guys. Look how good Fibonacci is and the amount of times this happens. Look at the fib there, the extension, and look at where that literally touches that there. So the fib is a beautiful thing. I love fibs. But the other thing I want to look at is to see, do we have any other areas of interest? Now, this here is a big area of interest right over here. We can see this is potentially a strong point, is a strong order block on the 4 hour. So we know that there's a potential for a bounce there, which is good to see. Now we have got another 4 hour OB, probably this one over here. So we can see we've got some strong areas there. Now this isn't kind of inside bar there, but it didn't really break structure there. Where it did break structure, it's already come back and tested. So I would say that's not as strong because that move did not break the previous structure. So, yes, it is the low and it is a swing low. So it is an important point. And as you can see, the bottom of that is kind of, where you'd be expecting price to push through if it was going to go lower. But we are on the 4 hour. So for that to happen is going to be days, if not weeks from now anyway. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of look at this 4 hour move over here. Yes, we have had this push up over there, that over there, but I'm going to look at the bigger move, this one over there. And we haven't quite tapped the 50. So I'd say the 50 is quite a strong area. Haven't tapped into that yet. And then your extension is going to be this one over there, the first extension, which as you can see is strong with all these areas there, but it's very similar to that. So I'm not going to put in another one. So I'm definitely going to be looking for buys, guys. I want to look for buys because I can see that, we are generally moving up. I would like to ultimately see it come a little bit lower, to be honest, before we kind of push up. Now, this break of structure there, if we're looking at this FEG, I would say that's probably a strong FEG to bounce off of as well, as a 4-hour. We'll just do FEG. So I don't like to clutter my chart too much. I'm just getting an idea of kind of areas where we could be looking at some potential bounce. Now we do have a big push up over here as well. If we look at the 15-minute, what does that look like? Let's take this whole move over here. So you can see we've tapped into the 50 already, then it pushed up, pushing back down. So for me, not really too interested yet. Like I could get in again, I could get in early. I'd potentially say that I'm only interested to get in once it hits the 61. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. Let's maybe potentially put an alert on there. Say if it comes over there, then I'll be interested in kind of having a look. Ideally, what I'd love to see is I'd love to actually see price kind of from this point push down and actually tap into this, then have some kind of a retracement. And then what we do is this would be the ideal situation, right? Then we draw a fib onto that, and that's where we're going to be getting our entries. That's what I'd like to see happen, because then I know we're bouncing off a very strong point. If I'm just getting in over here, yes, I can get in, but there's a good chance I'm going to be going into my first, second, third, fourth, and potentially even fifth position. And as we know, that generally takes a little bit more time, can cause a little bit more stress. So I want to be a little bit smarter with my entries now. So that's kind of what I'm going to be looking at potentially. Even if we come down to these areas here and have something similar, then I'll be keen to get in. So that's kind of my setup, guys. I will come back later in the day and potentially record a little bit more. So that's what I'm looking at for now. I'm going to kind of leave this to play. I'm going to leave this on the 15-minute and see if this kind of plays out to my expectation. So as you can see, like I said, that's my expectation. That's what I want to see. I want to see price push down. And kind of head to these areas and then give me some kind of structure change. Now, this is on the 15-minute, so, there's a good chance that we're not going to get there today with this. So can I get into another trade? GBP USD, maybe we can. Let me close all of this. That was what I was looking at, another potential for a trade yesterday. And as you can see, would have played out really nicely. Would have only hit that first position. Got a couple trades in on that. Closed there, come back, pushed up, maybe closed again, pushed down, closed again, and then we would have had some nice profit. And that's the whole point of this strategy is you can kind of open the same position and close it multiple times if price is bouncing like that. So let's delete everything here. Let's delete all, remove everything, and kind of let's start afresh. So let's go to the daily. We can see on the daily that we have got price definitely pushing up. And this was a strong move over here. So this is kind of what we were kind of retracing on now is this move over here. And you can see we are tapping cleanly on that 50 now. So it has become a very strong support area. Let's put that in black. It even tapped into the 61. So you can see that was a very strong area over there. And then we're going to put this over there. You can see how this is, again, a strong area of support and resistance, this line over here. So fib is always kind of very strong and does its thing. Now over here, we can see that this candle was completely, covered. So I would say all of this has been covered. This push up over here did break. So maybe we have this as a massive, it's a huge order block or a huge inside candle. So I'm not that interested. The one I am interested in though is probably this one all the way down here. So that would be a 4-hour order block that would be interested in. And then further down, we have probably this inside candle over there, to be honest. But that's a lot further down than, we're kind of looking at now. Actually, this is not a 4-hour. This is a daily order block. So we get these things right. All right, let's have a look at the 4-hour. What are we looking at on the 4-hour? Now, we had that big push up. It's a similar sort of thing. Now we did have this strong push down over there, which we came back to the 50. If we extend that to there, what we can do is we can look at potentially coming up to the 50 before it pushes down. So these are the areas that we could look at price getting to. So sometimes you got to look at both ways, right? Because you got to kind of look at what your potential target would be. Now we've had this push up over here. That initial push, we did get down to the 50, not even the 50, to be honest, carried on up a little bit more. So what I'll be looking at now is potentially getting to the 50 to get into some kind of trade. You've got the 50 there, 60 over there, and that's where it ends over there. So what I'd be looking at, to be honest, is have a look on the 1 hour. We have got pushed down that break over there. So this inside bar over here, it's a 1 hour. I'm going to just do OB. It's not an OB, but it is an area of interest. So that's all I really care about. Push down break. So that's a massive one there. So for me to trade GBP USD, I would probably have to go with some really, really big So if we look at this whole move, let's go to the 5 minute, see what we're looking at. This move hasn't broken yet, so I would probably just be looking at, just to be on the safe side, this area was kind of what we're looking at on the higher time frame as well. Now you can see we did push down already into the 50, so that's where I probably would have wanted to get in. So this would probably be my first position. Now we've really got to think about how wide we spread this, to be honest. So I want to go really safe with this one. So I'd go first position there. Second would be there. Third would be probably there. Fourth would be here. Then I could even go fifth over here. And then we could use this as our kind of protection. So we look at something like that. Not extremely thingy about it, but it would look something like that. We'd just look at the breaks of the tops. This would probably clear all the way to the bottom there. So we look at something like that. The problem is the news, right? So if we get to a position where we're pushing down, it's coming down, it's getting to this point, we have the news and then it spikes. That's what I'm scared of. So that's kind of what we could look at. Not that keen on it, to be honest. More keen on this. I'm going to just see what price does in the next little while. If we get to a point that, see, I could potentially already look at trading off of this main push up over here, this main push up over there, sorry, over there, push down to the 50. So we could potentially look at that being our first entry. Now we have got that FEG, which is a good bounce point, right? So we can use that to our advantage while being in a trade. So let's see if we can get something here. First position, second position. This will be our third position. Now our fourth position will be a nice area of potential bounce as well, just right near that fourth, and then our fifth can be over here, so kind of just above. I'm going to put it just over there. You can see that's a nice area. It is between the two fibs. All right, so let's kind of look at using this as our trade idea, guys. Now, the cool thing about this strategy, guys, is you can get it wrong a few times, right? All you got to have is a general idea. Now, my general idea is on the high time frame that we are going to be retracing and then we're going to be bouncing up. So that would be my first. Let me just remove the fib now. No, sorry. This would be my first. I'd be looking at getting kind of all the way to the top there, something like that. So let's look at trading that, guys. So I'm going to enter into this. I'm not going to put this on the video because it's going to be too long. This is the kind of thing we're going to be doing on the lives. Once I sort out the lives, I'll probably be filming it on another computer, just because this one was causing me a bit of problems when I did film before. Let me remove this. And then this is kind of what we're going to be looking at, guys. So I'm going to enter into this. I'm going to do all the positions. I'll come back once it's all done. And then we will kind of talk through some of the other stuff I'm doing. Okay, back, and we have set it all up. And as you can see, we are hopefully going to be tapped into our first position soon. So let's have a quick look at what that looks like. on the board. There we go. We've got all our positions in. You can see there, if I just scroll this down, all of our positions are in. So remember, guys, this is essentially one trade idea broken up into 5 parts. That's all it is. As simple as that. Just really kind of like spreading our risk as widely as we possibly can, protecting our position as best as we possibly can. And it's been working really well, guys. So, you know, it's not just randomly placing, which, to be honest, I could probably enter my first position. You could tell me buy or sell. I could enter my first position at will anywhere. I could tell my son, my 12-year-old son, to tell me to buy or sell any pair using this strategy, and I still think you'd be profitable. That's how good the strategy is. That's how much potential the strategy it has. But I like to get in at a more strategic point and make sure that I'm potentially trading with the higher time frame bias anyway, right? So there's a higher chance of me going in the direction that I think I'm going, right? But with that being said, I think this strategy would work with just a random entry anywhere. How I break it up. Yes, there's probably a higher chance of you kind of hitting your stop on that 5th position with that. But I still think long-term you'd be profitable. But psychology comes into it, right? So that's everything in play, guys. We are good to go. And as I showed you, 5%ers account is back on and running. Talking about 5%ers, one of our subscribers won the 50, or in fact, a 60K 5%ers account because we hit 100 subscribers. Now, I've got some beef with you guys because I put that competition out. I flew to 100 subscribers within 2 weeks. We launched we did the giveaway, which we are potentially going to be looking at doing a video with the person who won the giveaway to see how it's going. But then straight away, you guys have just stopped subscribing. Come on, there's going to be a lot more giveaways. So when we hit 250, there's going to be a small giveaway. But when we hit 500 subscribers, there's going to be a very big giveaway, guys. So coming. So make sure you don't stop subscribing. Keep subscribing. Keep hitting that like button, guys, because we've got a lot coming. I'm going to be showing you now the other stuff I do, and I want to bring someone on board with that as well. With that being said, this is just cut. So let's go to another screen because we don't want to see that. But with that being said, guys, there's a lot to come because I am actually going to be taking on one person to do my automated thing where I'm going to be your kind of coach all the way, and I will get you subscribed. But it comes with a catch. You guys, whoever signs up for this, is number one going to get a 20% discount on the product, which I will talk about. Because I'm going to be using my affiliate code for you, and you're going to be getting a 20% kickback on the full-time product. The product is amazing. I use it myself. I currently am looking at anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month from this. So it's really huge. Your initial investment is quite large, but you make that back in the first 6 months, and thereafter you're looking at profit, right? And the product is potentially even going to be changing sometime soon. So I'm going to be waiting until that happens because we're looking at potentially going from an annual subscription to a lifetime subscription. So it'll be so much more beneficial to sign up because then essentially what we used to do is the first 6 months you would use to kind of make your money back. Then you'd make your kind of, in the next 3 months, you'd make your next year's subscription, and the final 3 months is all profit. And then it gets better from there on, right? But now we're looking at potentially bringing in a lifetime. We haven't got there yet, but when we do, I'll be talking about that because I think that'll be the time to strike. So with that being said, let me show you what that looks like so far, guys. I'm in a few different ones at the moment. So this is a FTMO account. I'm already 1,000, 2,000 up. I was actually 4,000 up. I had a losing day yesterday, but you can see this is selling. So I'm hoping we do go down and we get that. On the other side over here, I'm going to show you guys something. I have also got my hedging bot. Now, this is the incredible thing about this product, guys. Whatever you're doing, you're hedging on your own live account. So I've paid about $600 for this FTMO account. But if I lose the challenge, my hedge account will make back every cent of that. So I essentially never actually lose anything, right? So you can see here, because we're doing well on that, I'm a little bit down on this. But if this goes sour or goes south, my hedging account is going to catch everything up. So all looking very good. So I'm currently taking 4 different challenges. The other one that's currently on now is this one, which is Hola Prime, which is currently $4,000 up, so going very well. So it's all kind of go, right? Now this one, I'm hoping this does kick back and get me in. I might even kind of move this one up a little bit. Let me do that now, because I generally do want to get in. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just follow this up a little bit. It's very laggy today, guys. Kind of move this up a little bit, so I'm kind of forcing my way in. Move this one up a little bit, follow it as well. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that. That's my trade for the day. Let me just show you guys. Let me make sure this is just for today. We want to look at custom. Oh, so laggy. Today, okay. So you can see we're $163 up today, guys. My target is anywhere from about 150 to 250. Ideally, I would love to hit another $500 day, because then we are getting another one of our big days out the way. Let's see how this one goes. We'll see how this one goes. We're already on 163. If we can tap into some positions here. I'm not too worried about those 3 days. I've already got one of my days that I've hit more than 0.5%. So I just need 2 more days that I hit that. And I think if I get to about $4,000 or $5,000 on this account, what I will be doing is I will be just potentially taking a bigger trade with another strategy that I use. Worst case scenario, I lose $1,000, but I'm essentially going to be risking 1,000 to make 500. So it's going to be a negative risk reward ratio, but just because that gives me more chance of actually hitting that the TP, right? Because all I'm looking for is the 500 at that point. So we do that, we risk of the money we make. If we lose that 1,000, we go back to the strategy, make that 1,000 back, and we just keep doing that until we've hit those 3 profitable days. So that's it, guys. That is everything. I think you're up to date. We're back on, guys. I am going to be coming to you guys at least 3 times a week with these videos, with updates of what I'm doing. And then we are potentially going to be looking at very soon going into maybe 1 or 2 live sessions per week. Now, what I'll do is I'll schedule those so everyone knows it's coming, because I think when I just go live, no one knows about it. I don't have anyone viewing. There's no point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule them, and then hopefully we get, even if we get 3, 4, 5 people on the live, who cares, right? As long as I have someone there with me, enjoying the trades, jumping on the trades with me if you want. But if you guys don't know the strategy 100%, it's at your own risk, because sometimes these can go on, for a day, 2 days. And in that case, it's going to be difficult for you. So it is at your own risk, but I am going to be going live. We'll be talking about how you can manage it in the live as well. So with that being said, guys, it's all go. We're back on. We are kind of, I'm happy to be back. Looking forward to this 5%ers account, because I just want to kind of get it going now. I want to get to the point where I've got my live account making an easy $500 a week, or, what's my goal? I think my goal was $2,500 per month, $5,000 every 2 months, and we're going to scale up to the max 500K. And at that point, this account is going to be a very nice earner. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to leave it there. A little bit of a longer video, but it's my first one back. We did do a little bit of a recap and also a kind of what we are trading today, which, as you can see, we're in. That hasn't triggered yet. I actually moved that up, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I'll keep you updated with this. I might even add, that at the end, or the recap of today's trade will be in the next video. So that being said, guys, thank you very much for joining, and we will see you in the next video. Subscribe, because if you subscribe, prizes will be won. So, if you guys want to have a chance at getting some incredible prizes, subscribe. 250 subscribers, there's going to be another prize. 500, there's going to be a prize. At 1,000, there's going to be a huge prize. It could even be, I haven't decided yet, but it could even be the sign up to the Blue Edge Titan X, that I will basically give you guys the whole product, right? So there's definitely incentive, guys. So please sign up, subscribe. Big giveaways coming your way. If you guys give me something, I'm going to give you something back. That's how my channel works. So yeah, let's go, guys. Thank you very much for joining today, and we will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Peace.